Hey guys, it's Belle, and today I'm bringing you my April candle empties video. I cannot believe it's the end of April already. So I am ready to show you my candle empties, some good, some bad, so let's get into it. There's quite a few to get through. I decided for this very first part of my video, I'm going to show you all of the Colonial Candles I went through this month. Right here, this large jar, this is a large 22 ounce size. It was in the scent Paris Raspberry Macaroon. I picked this up at Marshall's. It was $10 many months ago, and I actually have another jar of this. This scent was fabulous. So if you can find this at your TJ Maxx and Marshall's, I would really recommend you get it. This is a red coated bottom. If you can see that there. Let me pick it up and turn it around a little bit. So it does have the red code. It did give me a little bit of trouble with the wicks when it was about halfway down, but it recovered. It was a really strong thrower. It was really beautiful and fruity, so I really enjoyed this one. I would recommend it. The scent is very nice. Not so much bakery macaroon, but it's sort of like a fluffy, vanilla, sugary kind of raspberry smell, but you know, it does have sort of like a lightness to it, a sugariness to it, and then a really nice raspberry, and it was a pretty good thrower. I would say a medium to strong thrower, so I really liked that one. Then I also used up a medium size Colonial Candle in the scent Water Lily, and this one was very light. Now I'm smelling the lid here. It's definitely watery, florally, beautiful on cold, but unfortunately it just did not stand out to me when it was burning. It was very light, and so I did not have the best luck with this as far as the throw is concerned. So I don't think I would recommend this one to you guys. You would pick it up and smell it and be like, oh my gosh, it's so nice, but honestly it's not worth it because it doesn't throw like typically Colonial Candles do throw really well. This one was not a good one for me. Okay, and then I also burned some small 3.5 ounce jars from Colonial Candle. The first one there in the scent Plum was really nice. It had a pretty good throw, probably about a medium throw, but for it being such a small candle, it did really well. I enjoyed this scent. It was a really nice sort of dry plum scent. I mean, there was some sweetness to it, but it wasn't overly sweet. It wasn't sugary sweet. It was a deeper plum and almost sort of mixed with some sandalwood or maybe a little something kind of spicy. So I did really enjoy this one. I'm surprised that I chose it though for the springtime. It does sort of have more of a fall vibe, but I would absolutely recommend this one if you do come across it. I ended up purchasing that one at Marshall's for $3.99. So the one next to it, though, I was not a big fan of. This is the Paris Parisian Cafe. It smelled like an old lady's perfume. It was florally, kind of heavy, a little bit, you know, powdery. That's, I think, what really got it for me. It did have sort of a powdery note that I just wasn't feeling, and I just didn't find it refreshing or classy or anything like that. When I think of a Parisian cafe, I don't think of like a stuffy, heavy, you know, old lady perfume and baby powder smell. Luckily, it wasn't too strong, so that was good, but I would not recommend that. And the last two I have actually reviewed before. These are in the scent Plum Orchid. It has sort of a dying, like flower, musky, you know, air freshener, weird kind of vibe going on. I did not like this blend. If you want a plum scent from Colonial Candle, stick with the Pompeii Plum, the one I first showed you. Really beautiful. They did not execute Plum Orchid very well. It's like stale, dying, stinky flowers. So not the best month for Colonial Candle, but I did enjoy Raspberry Macaroon and Pompeii Plum, so I would give those two a thumbs up. Okay, so I also finished up 2 Crossroads jars this month. The one on the left is a large 26 ounce size, and it's in the scent Citrus and Herbs, and then the one on the right in a medium 16 ounce jar is in the scent Earthly Essence. So these don't have labels on them because I picked these up at the factory sale, which was last April, and they seem to do this factory sale every April. They actually had it again earlier this month, I think kind of toward the middle of the month, I want to say. I'm not sure. I didn't go to it this year. But I had a lot of fun at it in 2015, so that's where I hauled these. So Citrus and Herbs is no longer available. It's a retired scent. I won't talk about it too much, but it had a really nice sort of lemon citrus note with, I'm guessing, maybe like a basil. It was kind of a nice, delicate, sort of sweet basil. But then it also had a little floral note to it, and something about it just was like straight up sort of like a grassy note. So that's kind of what that blend was like. But it was a nice candle, very fresh, nice for spring. So the one on the right, the medium that I have there, that is in the scent Earthly Essence. And this is supposed to be a blend of vanilla, jasmine, and strawberry. And so this is still available. This is one of their standard scents that they do sell on their website. So I would actually recommend it if you like a sweet strawberry smell. This is predominantly very sugary, sort of sweet strawberry. Not 100% authentic strawberry. It's not a realistic strawberry to me, but it kind of reminds me of a strawberry snow cone or something really sweet like that. I am getting some floral from this. It is definitely detectable, but it's predominantly strawberry. And unfortunately, I didn't really get any vanilla. If there is vanilla, it's just very slight, but not obvious. I really couldn't pick it out on its own. It's probably just blended in there really well. But I really did like both of these candles. Crossroads just in general seem to throw well for me. They're not really strong, but they've always been noticeable. So that's what I really do like about the brand. They're consistently noticeable throwers. So if that helps you at all in maybe purchasing from this brand, I will say that overall I find them to be very nice quality and noticeable throwers. So a good month for Crossroads for me. Okay, so I also burned 3 Goose Creeks this month, and all of them were in the scent Blueberry Cake Donut. So 2 of them are the smaller tumblers that you can see right there. They have 2 wicks and they're smooth wax. And then the large jar is the traditional paraffin. I did pick this one up at Burlington for $7.99. And I have to say that they all in their own way gave me some problems. The tumblers did not want to pull out. So I think it was a wax problem. The wicks were a lot better than in the traditional style jar, but they just did not want to pull out very easily. I had to foil them. Now, the traditional jar had easier time pulling out, but the wicks were terrible. They kept fizzling. There were some good moments where the wicks would actually perform pretty well, but I had to pour out quite a bit of wax in order to keep the wicks going because they just were not strong. And so I did review these candles earlier in the month. If you want to see that video, I will link it below for you if you want to get more specifics on this candle and scent. But overall, I liked this scent a lot. It was a nice blueberry, kind of a blueberry muffin scent. The throw was not super great. Again, there were moments where it was nice, strong, and then other moments where it was undetectable. So it does seem to be a little inconsistent with scent throw as well. So right now, my overall opinion with Goose Creek is that I am not going to be hauling any more of these candles. I do have quite a few actually that I have in my collection, so I'll be burning what I have, but I won't be really restocking them. So, you know, I don't really know how I feel about it. I would probably suggest if you want to try this scent, go with a wax melt, or if you find the candle really cheap, maybe use it in a candle warmer, but burning, it's really not the best. Okay, so on to Yankee Candles. I did burn 3 this month. I burned Honey Blossom, Tahitian Terry Flower, and Black Plum Blossom. And I did review this month Honey Blossom and Black Plum Blossom, so I will link those below if you want to know more specifics about these scents. But all of them were very nice. I would say that Honey Blossom was probably the strongest of the 3, and then Black Plum Blossom was in second place. Tahitian Terry Flower, I could detect it, but it was pretty light, and I will say though that it did seem to get stronger the lower it burned down. So actually there is some like fragrance oil that I can see in the bottom, so I would say that this candle was actually the strongest towards the bottom. But the other ones were really good performers, the Honey Blossom and Black Plum Blossom. All of them did have some sooting issues, and a few times I wasn't great about keeping up with the wicks. But overall, really clean burners. All of them pulled out each time, and I'm really satisfied with them in that way. But as a whole, they are light. I mean, we all know Yankees are not super strong anymore. They were pretty much like that, but I would say that Honey Blossom was the strongest of the three. So I would actually really recommend that one. And then, surprisingly enough, if you didn't see my Black Plum Blossom review, that is actually a fruity scent, which you wouldn't necessarily know based on the label. So I would actually recommend all of these in a tart form. I think they're beautiful, beautiful scents. But if you don't want like a super light throwing type candle, if you want something much stronger, these are probably not going to be like, you know, your favorite candles to burn, because on the whole they were, you know, on the lighter end as far as scent throw goes. Okay, you guys, these are the final 2 candles for April that I burned. These are both DW Home candles. So I burned a large 3-wick in Wild Honey Nectar, and I also burned the single wick in Coconut Verbena, which is in this mason jar glass container, which I thought was really cute. But let me just start with this one. This candle was horrible. It had no throw, the wicks were terrible, it was messy, and it just gave me so many problems. I had to foil it, I had to dump wax out. It was just a really, really bad candle. The scent, however, is incredible. When I originally hauled this at TJ Maxx, it was $5.99. When I originally hauled this, it just smelled so great. So I bought 2 of them, and I returned the other one after I discovered how bad of a burner this was. However, with my Wild Honey Nectar, you guys, that candle was incredible. It was fabulous. It had just the most beautiful, just sort of rich honey smell with a little bit of sort of orange blossom note to it. And the throw was impeccable, and the burn was great. So I have nothing but good feelings about this 3-wick candle. It just gave me no trouble whatsoever. So I would definitely recommend this scent as well as the 3 wicks. I've also heard that the 2 wicks are pretty good as well from DW Home, and that candle was $7.99, and I bought some at TJ Maxx and Marshalls, so that's where you can find those. And that'll do it for my April empties, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.